and welcome on into episode 10 of Parental Gamers. This is my second time introing it, and I'm not going to screw it up. My name is Dadbods United, and I am one of your hosts this evening, joined by the amazing...
I am Andy. I don't know if he was going to finish it for me or let me finish it. I didn't put my hand up this time.
Pete.
So I am Andy TTB. Hi.
I swear we've done this before. Like, for those of you listening or watching either here live on Twitch or on YouTube, like this, we might have done this once or twice. We've only had a couple episodes, right?
Yeah, I mean, 10 is only technically a couple in dog years.
Right? I mean, it's a cool thing. I mean, 10 episodes. What a milestone. Like, I can't believe you put up with my crap for this long.
Yeah. Everybody has someone.
Wow. I see how you feel about me.
Look, I needed to do some charity write-offs, and hanging out with you is my charity work.
Wow. All right. Well, now that the table has been set and we all know how each other feel, thank you for all participating in another wonderful episode of Parental Gamers. You can find... We're here talking about episode 10. It's a huge thing. We've had 10 episodes of that's like 10 hours plus of conversation with one another. That's just recorded. Never mind all the shit talk we talk outside of this.
It's true. It's true. And none of it's actually like good. The conversation off air is much like the conversation on air. It's we don't know what we're doing, and we're gonna get there, and it makes sense eventually.
Yeah.
Take tonight's episode. Go on, DB.
I mean, just because I messed it up one time.
Oh, we were talking about that.
See, even the chats on my side, if you're here watching us live on Twitch, they're all about, like, accidents happen. You live, you learn, right? Like, that's part of the game.
This entire episode is an accident. We had a topic, but nothing else.
Yeah, usually, okay, listen. I mean, as much as we both love to mess shit up royally, we're usually pretty good at, like, hanging out at least a couple days before, going through some points, getting, like, a little, like, outline together, getting some, like, important dates, some, like, really fun stuff. This is none of it. Like, all week has been like, can you do this thing? No, I can't. So this is part of the problem with, number one, both being full-time parents, having kids, having a significant other, doing our streaming, our content creation, plus having a 3-hour time difference makes it difficult. Because, like, I'm like, hey, can you do this time? And it's like, well, I'm eating dinner. And it's like, can you do this time? And I'm like, I'm sleeping, motherfucker. Like, you can't. It's tough. It's a tough thing to do, and organizing this stuff. So we went from, like, if you check out our Discord, you'll see, like, episode 1, 2, like 1 through 4 was like pinpoint documented down to the minute, and it's just slowly degraded. Actually, no, it degraded pretty quickly from there.
Episode 7 was the last time we had, like, legitimate points, and then episode 8 it started getting worse. Then the mental health episode, which we actually had a lot of planning and preparation for, like, we did it. We talked to each other, and it's been written down. It just hasn't been put in the places where we both have access to it. But also, the homework wasn't necessarily done by us; it was done by our guest. So we just read the links and the evidence and supporting documents that he gave us. So, I mean, if you're looking to be a guest on this show and you want to do all the work, we'll bring it on. Let's go.
Yeah, we'll have you on for multiple episodes. Like, I'm not even scared. And on a sidebar, like, we've had a couple of guests now, and all have been fantastic. But last week's episode with Berdian, or 2 weeks ago, our episode with Berdian was amazing. Definitely something I would encourage everyone to check out, because it does talk pretty heavily about mental health in gaming content creation, and in gaming as a therapy too. So definitely worth checking out. So check out our links, !PG in my chat. But it's been crazy. Like, this week has been tough. It got to a point where I got a message from Andy today at like 3:00 my time, and he's like, "We're just gonna wing it, aren't we?" I'm like, "Yeah, Yeah, we're gonna wing it. I think it's the best thing we could have done. And
Hmm.
go figure, we both got a little bit of some stacks of information together, and we went. Like, I don't know, how's your schedule been lately? Have you found it getting increasingly
Schedule.
difficult to do things?
Schedule. I don't have a schedule. I have things that happen around me that I need to do.
But that's a schedule.
That's not a schedule. The schedule is usually a beneficial like agreement of time and tasks. I didn't agree to it. It's
Yeah,
not
but
beneficial.
that's part of parenting. Like, you wake up, it's just automatically scheduled shit to do. Like, you got to get your kid up, you got to get them changed, you got to have breakfast. Like,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
these
yeah,
things
yeah.
it's part of a schedule. It's like that whole thing.
So I do Instacart shopping, and for those of you who don't know what Instacart is, it's just a grocery delivery service. You go on a website, you buy your groceries, it gets sent onto an app, and I am one of those people that picks up your groceries and delivers it to you. It brings in the money while we're stuck in a pandemic, and I'm not being hired for other things. Um, so it's been keeping things out. So I do that. So from like 9 to 2:30, I do Instacart. I pick up my daughter at 3 from daycare. So I can only do it for about 4 or 5 hours. That's the only schedule I have. Is I wake up, I get up at 9, I'll leave the house for 10 because shops don't typically happen until about 10:30 anyway. It's not a schedule. You are streaming right now. Sorry, that I'm not even supposed to acknowledge her. Not supposed to acknowledge this chat, but I got called out. um,
Wow. Yeah. I mean, no, but that's a schedule. He's like, "Ah, man doesn't have a schedule, but he has a schedule." He's like, I do this from 10 o'clock until
but it's
3
not.
o'clock.
It's yeah, but it's not mutually beneficial. Like you have a schedule
Does it pay
when you're
you?
working. Yeah, because but it's not like that.
But
Look,
you
it's not a
schedule, but
schedule.
hold on. When you open your day, when you wake up in the morning, you look at your day and you're like, okay, at 10 o'clock, I got to go Instacart. That shit's scheduled.
I don't like any of you right now.
Like, I wake up in the morning, I have to, like, I know I have to go to work. That's scheduled. The events within my day are microcosms of that schedule. I come home, like, dinner's not scheduled, but it's there. I have to eat dinner. Like, what you mean?
Yeah. I don't know. See, I say mutually beneficial schedule is like the company makes money off of me because they give me a shift from so on to so forth. But I have to say, okay, I need to get up. It's not a schedule. It's not a bucket list. It's a gun to my head. You have to work between these hours or you're not going to make money.
Welcome
That's
to
not a
work.
schedule.
That's working life. Last time I checked, like, until I can start pooping out dollar bills, I'm stuck living by that same means.
Fine.
You show up for work, it's scheduled work. At 10 a.m., you got to get up, you got to make money.
It's if anything, I'll give you it's loosey goosey because
Oh.
I can go when I want and what I want. Like was just said, I can go and do it. I can do it in the afternoon for 4 hours. I can switch and I can flip and flop. I don't have to do it on those days.
But when you do it, you schedule it.
No, technically not.
Oh, for the love of Pete.
There
I'm
are
going to throw my hat.
there are definitely days that are better to do shopping and times to do that are better for shopping. That is not scheduled. That is just because it's better.
But
There's
you
no
schedule.
schedule.
No, but hold on. If your day is 10 hours long, you schedule in 4 hours to Instacart. That you schedule it in. Like, can we get a definition on schedule? Like, please? Like, if you're like,
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up today and I'm going to Instacart and sell, you scheduled that shit into your day, no matter where it happens.
Well, and I guess we'll just jump on this one and I'll say it live, and I don't care if I get in trouble. I got an email saying that I have to go for training for Canada Post soon. So there's that.
Is that scheduled?
That will be scheduled, yes.
Fuck's sakes.
but it's a part-time on-call delivery position. So technically there is no schedule because it's on call.
Yeah, but when they call you, it gets scheduled.
Yeah, on their part, not mine.
What do you, oh my, that's it. Fuck the Apex conversation we're supposed to have. We're talking about schedules, chat. Chat, listeners, everybody around the world, we're talking about schedules. Yeah, we're talking about, wait, if they call you and they're like, hey, Andy, we need you to come in tomorrow at 10 a.m., what do? You schedule.
I tell them no, that's too late notice because they need to give me a certain amount of time before they give me a shift.
I can't. I can't. I can't. How? How has anybody ever had a conversation with you? That is a okay, schedule. Thank you, chat. Those of you listening, we are live on Twitch every other Friday, and somebody just dropped in the chat schedule. All law fine schedule plural noun. A plan for carrying out a process or procedure, giving lists of intended events and times. So even though you don't go through, it's intended. If you wake up in the morning and you intend to DoorDash, at some point you're scheduling that shit in your schedule, in your day. It's scheduled. I'm sweating. I'm sweating right now. Like having this conversation is making me sweat.
For those of you listening, I am just like stone-faced staring at chat, wishing that they didn't do any of this.
We have drawn up an engineering schedule. Oh my god, thank you. I mean, I forgot.
Anyway,
I forgot to shut that alert off.
Let's jump to the next part, where you tell us what you've been playing recently. Enough about me. Enough about me. Let's talk about you.
All right. So I'm gonna give my chat. I've been playing a lot of Apex lately. We are about a month away from the MLB The Show launch. And I am so freaking excited. So excited right now. That's all I can think about is MLB The Show 21. But in the meantime, I've discovered Apex Legends again for the third time in his career. But this time I've actually been playing it religiously. Oh no. So I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends. I've been still dabbling in WoW offline. We've been playing a lot of FIFA Pro Clubs with the community. So for those of you who don't know, FIFA 21 and a lot of the other previous FIFAs have a game mode where you play as one player on the field and one player only, which is a lot of fun. When you get multiple people in there, you get a bunch of community members in there, you can have a great time. But how about you? What have you been doing?
All Apex.
All Apex? All the time?
Yeah, pretty much. I want to get on and play some Jedi Fallen Order, but it's just I'm playing Apex a lot. Season 8 has been fun. This new update has been okay. I mean, I like the updates that they did. I just don't like the game event. But Apex, for the most part, I can't even think of what else I played.
Wow. Didn't I see you hit plat last night? Was it last night I saw you hit plat?
Yeah, it was last night. We had a flute game where we couldn't win pubs all night, sweaty as hell. And last night we played one before I got off for the night, and got a big old dub and got to plat.
Nice.
It was nice. It was like 2100 damage with 2100 damage, 9 kills with Mirage. I needed to win, so
that was good. Mirage. We'll talk about that too.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that for sure. On a
schedule.
We'll schedule that into the podcast in a few minutes. Give me a sec.
Bet.
For those of you the first time listening or first time viewing here on Twitch, one of the things we do here is we do go through a bunch of birthdays and a bunch of games that released on this date in particular. Why don't you take away with the birthdays?
Okay, so if you were lucky enough to be born on this day, March 12th, you share a birthday with Liza Minnelli, who turned 75 today, and Mitt Romney. I only went with these two people because all the other names were kids. Absolutely kids from YouTube and Instagram and pop singers I've never heard of. You call me old if you want, but I know these two. So
yeah, we're old and we're proud. Look at the gray hairs are everywhere.
Okay. So happy birthday if you happen to be one of these people that shares a birthday with Liza Minnelli and Mitt Romney.
You want to feel old? Watch this one. Toe Jam and Earl, 1992 on this day. Toe Jam and Earl. You don't even know what it is. Oh, for the love of Pete.
I was 4.
Yeah. God damn it. You're so goddamn. World Cup 1998. Unreal Tournament also released. I just had something go off in my ear.
Probably your eardrum popping for once.
From all the jokes. Haha. Unreal Tournament on the Dreamcast, released on 2001. Daytona USA on the Dreamcast, also 2001. If you haven't played that game in the arcades, it's amazing. Pac-Man World in 2002. Virtual Fighter 4 Evolution in 2003. Final Fantasy X2 in 2003. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 07. That was actually a really good game. Call of Duty Roads to Victory PSP. What else we got here? Call of Duty Road to Victory on PSP, which was actually a really underrated title. I had a lot of fun playing that when I was a kid. Command and Conquer came to the PS3. Resident Evil 2009. Resident Evil 5, sorry. Yakuza in 2012. Stardew Valley came to Google Play in 2019. And in 2020, we got nothing. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nothing on 2020.
So
We were supposed to have Halo.
but not on this day in 2020. It would have been like later on in 2020.
True.
So that's all right. That's all right. Those are our birthday and time events. Tonight's plan is to talk all things Apex because it has its hooks in me deep right now. Like, I want to play other things, but all I end up playing is Apex. I know, Andy, you've been enjoying it, especially because it's a fresh season. I'm imagining that you're hooked into it a little bit more, trying to get your ranks and whatnot.
The rank stuff doesn't really bother me. I mean, I can get to plat with people, no problem. It's just a hard game to quit. It's a hard game to put down. It's got all the action you want, the strategy, the fast pace. You can get into a game relatively quickly. It's still a very popular game. I mean, 8 seasons. It's only 2 years old. Like, it's still new,
Right.
and it's still, I would say, popular. It might not be as popular as it was maybe in season 3 or something, but it's still like you say, it's got its hooks in us, and it's just a lot of fun. And every time they add a new character, it adds another level. Horizon is an absolute asshole. I hate it. She can get everywhere. There's nowhere that she can't go, and I hate it.
I kind of like her. I've actually enjoyed using her. But wasn't that from wasn't Fuse this season's big guy, and then the one before was
True, but I wanted to make a point about Horizon and how much I hate her.
Fair play. I think she's been shown a lot more since Fuse dropped.
Yeah.
But so here's the thing.
Is somewhat useless.
I think so too. It's just a big. He's a banger. He's good off the drop. I mean, he's
got like a nice. That's nice that he can stack grenades. That's a nice little bonus for him. Yeah. But
I've heard the animation's a little slow, though.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because he's cocking back his arm and he's loading it like.
Right.
So it makes sense.
That's true.
I wouldn't want someone to be able to actually like speed fire,
rapid fire grenades,
2 thermites at me or 2 arc stars at me. Like it would, I probably wouldn't play the game. But I have noticed Season 8 seems to have brought back a lot of sweats. Like, I'm playing with a lot of... And it's not because of my skill level. I think it's just because they came back to play. But I must have been in games with, like, 4 or 5 different Pred squads last night. And it's ridiculous. And that was just pub matches. That was just pubs. And it was so angering to play against those kind of people because they push you from across the map. They're like, oh, someone took a shot at me, and then they get on the balloon and they come and get you, and then they kill you without even thinking about it.
Right. It's so true. Like, that's the one thing I've been watching. So here's my history with Apex. I got into it on launch, and it was cool. It was kind of fun, but I was still playing a lot of COD multiplayer. It was the only real BR. I didn't really understand the whole like death idea, and I was like, it's kind of weird. So I didn't really get too deep into it. I came back to it like probably season 4, and it was cool. Loved playing Mirage. I've always really only played Mirage. It was decent, but I couldn't I didn't have the same love and appreciation for it. Started streaming on Mixer, and then on season, what are we in now? Season 9 or season 8?
8 still. Yeah.
So then it was the beginning of season 7 or season 6 that they reworked Mirage. That I came back to it, and I started to like really kind of get into it a little bit more. And then, my addictions to FIFA and stuff kind of kept me away from it. But since the Mirage rework, I've had so much fun playing that game. And I've been watching more and more high-level content creators play Apex. And holy crap, watching a Pred player and the way they look at the game is almost like I almost don't want to play anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's like how do you do that? Like my gunplay is decent, but my strategy in terms of like when to pick fights, when to take fights, how to like approach different fights is atrocious.
Yeah.
And that can get really frustrating as a newer or inconsistent player. And then like I'll watch guys like you and we've played a few games together and it's like I'm sitting there like lollygagging, looting. I've got like 576 light ammo. This guy's got like 13 bullets and he's just chasing squads down. I'm like, what the hell am I doing wrong? I mean, and chasing them down and doing well. I don't give you too many compliments, but it's one of those games that
I
you have to
wasn't
play.
I wasn't always a pusher though. I was very like my BR strategy is to hang back a little bit. And usually like how you play is just kind of take pot shots and hope for the best. And if you have to get close, you get close. But I adjusted my play style to the people I play with, and now that person isn't 100% a pusher. She likes to kind of play it a little different because of the character she plays. She used to be Taylor used to be a Bloodhound main, and it was good because I could adjust my playstyle. But she's changed, evolved, and I've still kind of sat with like, all right, she's just gonna push. So I'm just gonna push with her. So I sometimes get into situations where I push when I shouldn't. But it's fun. No, whatever. Fuck it. It's pubs. I'm just gonna go forward and deal
Right.
with it. Um, I like to think I can adjust on the fly though.
No, you are
Like
a very good player, but that comes from your experience. Like you've
yeah. I
taken
mean, you
so
do
many
anything long
fights.
enough, right?
Yeah, like the way you read the game and the way I read the game is totally different, obviously, because the multitude of fights that you've taken is substantially higher than what I have. So like when I'm getting into situations and I start to panic, I'm like, oh, I'm getting out of here, and I'll just like bust my Mirage alt, and I'm like, later, dude.
Yeah.
And like Andy's like, okay, well I just wiped the whole squad. You can come back now. I'm like, oh,
I I've had an absolute shit week of the game though. Like I'm barely hitting shots. Okay, I had a 9 kill game last night with good damage, but that was like one game out of 100. Like it was. I just had the worst week when it comes to that game, so I'm worried because I have games tomorrow with Dragon Queen and Taylor, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually be able to perform. It's gonna be awesome.
pop that blue pill then.
Yeah,
It's interesting though. It is a psychological game. Although I will say that the one constant in this and the one thing that you have been doing is you've been playing with me the last couple nights, so that might have something to do with your shit week. I'm supposed to be learning from you, and you instead are learning from me.
I play better with better players. Obviously, like it's not.
Right.
I can't carry someone to victory. I have to have. So like me, you, and Taylor. I know I'll do well, and we can get you somewhere. But like and I know it's going to suck. And Shiana's getting better, but when I play with Shiana, I am not used to it, so I don't play well with her. It's not to say she's bad or anything, but I can't play with her because her playstyle is different. She's like you; she's a solo queuer, so the communication's not there. But I've been playing BRs from day one with
Right.
people, whether it be PUBG, even like Fortnite. I mean, you would never catch me playing Fortnite by myself anyway. I got sucked into that from Taylor, but I just wouldn't do those things normally. That's why I struggle in solos because I'm like, shit, I got no one to like tell me where people are.
I
But
ping the shit
everybody,
out of everything.
I know. And you know what? That's the thing is, even when I'm dropping alone in those games, I still ping where I'm gonna land.
But do you ping
That-
after that? He's like, look, ping, I'm landing here, then that's it, no more. Like Andy goes incommunicado.
No, sometimes I'll ping where I want to go. If it's just, I mean, that's a whole other thing. But that leads us into like this update because now you can solo queue without being solo necessarily because they have that fill the team check mark.
That's only like 6 spots though, right? I think it's only 6 spots per game, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure I've heard that there's only 6 solos per game.
Oh, I mean, I was having a little bit of trouble getting into it, but
That might be
it's
why.
nice. It's nice for it to be an option.
There's a rumor mill from somebody that there's a new game mode coming where it might be like almost like a multiplayer mode coming to Apex,
Yeah.
which would be fascinating to see, but hopefully doesn't destroy the game.
But why? They've already announced Titanfall 3, or at least they've teased enough of it that Titanfall 3 is gonna. That's gonna have an online multiplayer.
Maybe this is it. Maybe they've redistributed their efforts into making this like a big deal.
And PUBG introduced a team deathmatch type thing, and that's like just before they died. And it's a dead. I mean, PUBG still played, but it's still a dead game considered. I hate to see that.
Well,
Hate to see that. Like, I don't know.
if you look at all the top shooters, the only one that has a successful multiplayer is COD, because that's where COD came from.
Yeah.
Every other shooter right now at the top of any streaming directory, especially, is a BR and BR first.
Yeah.
PUBG is not the top of any directory, but like you look at like Apex, Fortnite, like these are all games that came out as purely BRs, and it's tough. Like somebody like myself, I love Apex far more than any other battle royale out there. The speed of it, the uniqueness of it, the abilities, like there are so many dimensions to the game that you have to think about. And it doesn't feel like you're sitting there unloading an endless clip of bullets into a guy who just laughs at you, jumps around, and then just pops shields in his jacket for like 5 minutes to do it all over again.
I would be okay with like a deathmatch style Apex variant if it was like a team SWAT kind of thing from Halo. One shot headshots. Always.
So kind of like a Rainbow Six Vegas kind of thing, like attack and defend.
Yeah, maybe not even that. I mean, whatever, go to kill and limit the spawns, or keep them how they are, or whatever it might be. But maybe even like a paintball type thing where you need to, I don't know, King of the Hill, something that stays. I mean, because Apex is like you have your team of 3, and you're trying to be the best on the team in that
Right.
particular game. So King of the Hill would still kind of fit that play style where if you can get up there and hold. And they have players that you could do. You have your Gibbies, your Ramparts, your Caustics that you can hold with.
That kind of breaks it though. Like,
I could really. Again, the updates that they did with Gibby, they actually did really good things with Gibby in this update. Like his shield used to just take damage and it would break. Right now, it takes damage, and any residual damage will spill over onto his body shield.
right.
That's awesome. That's something that's beneficial because now you can shoot a Kraber, do 125 damage, break his shield for 50, and still do 75 off of his shields. That's I'm okay with that. It makes his shield not so stupid.
But if he bubbles up, that's like your game. Like you bubble up on top of a hill, it's still
but I mean they could work around it. You can do the only way to win is to get kills while you're King of the Hill rather than holding it for a time frame.
Yeah, but I just see Gibby with Watson and Caustic sitting on top of a hill, just like bring it, bitch, or Rampart and Caustic, just bring it, bitches. I could see maybe like a capture the flag where it's like you've got to infiltrate the enemy's line, pick something up, and bring it back. Like Octane, like somebody like an Octane might have an advantage, but outside of that, really like
no ults.
Yeah, you could do something crazy like that. But like I said, there's just different options for ways to make it cool, but I wouldn't want to see it as the main focus. Like even the debate of just pure solo Apex.
Yeah.
As much as I loved the idea when I first heard it, I kind of looked at it like lately after really getting into it. I think the characters work so well off of one another. I don't know that it would succeed on its own in the same fashion.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how people feel about storyline within Apex. I know it has its lore, but I wouldn't be opposed to having a quick little, like, you know, all those shorts that they keep releasing?
Yep.
I would be nice for them to make those into a little game that we could play.
Okay. Can't you though?
Like, get to know the characters by playing them before they got into the arena.
Didn't they do one of those with like Mirage and like before one of the seasons, or like when they introduced Loba?
No, I don't think you get to play them.
Okay,
I don't think you've ever been able to play them. They just have really good cinematics for all of that stuff.
Interesting.
I don't know, something.
Yeah,
they're trying to be different.
I mean, especially because it ties in to all like the Titanfall lore. Like, there's so much there. There's got to be so much to work with. Like, we know really very little about this whole tournament, like other than I think it was what, like Watson's father that has something to do with the origins of this battle royale.
Yeah, they built the ring because it's all the electricity and stuff, and which I'm sure if Titanfall 3 comes out, it's gonna explain a lot of what Apex Legends is, and it'll go a bit into it. It's probably gonna predate Apex
Right.
rather than jump into it. But even then, if they did Titanfall 3 and then you all of a sudden became Bangalore jumping into Titan, I wouldn't be opposed to that. As long as like I imagine jumping into a big mech and having the same skill set or ultimates that the character that jumped in has. So you're going around as like a caustic mech or a Gibby mech or something like that. That wouldn't be so bad.
I think it would be horrible. Imagine a Mirage mech. I ult
Yeah,
off and there's like 12 giant mechs just running the map.
absolutely. And they all have the same physics as Mirage. They make big giant footsteps, and you can shoot the wrong one.
I love that character. It's been really fascinating though, like even in conversation with someone like yourself, like playing a game like COD and then coming over to Apex has been such a breath of fresh air. I found myself when playing a game like Warzone, if you died in a game of Warzone, often it was there was no learning opportunity from it. There was nothing you could take away from it. Like you didn't take a bad fight, you got picked off a roof, and there was nothing you could do. Like some guy just sitting in a corner waiting on you because the circle moves so slow. The verticality of it and the way it's designed in like that suburban setting allows for a ton of camping. Whereas Apex, like for example, before our podcast tonight, I played a game. It was Final Circle. We kind of rushed into it, and then ended up being like 3 teams in a tight area. It was just chaos. But when I looked at it, there were opportunities where, first of all, I missed a bunch of shots. Second of all, I looked at it and I'm like, okay, well, I took a bad fight. Like, I didn't wait for my ult up. I didn't wait, like, I didn't give myself a good opportunity to win the fight I was getting into. I can't often take those lessons away when I'm playing a game of Warzone, which can be kind of frustrating at times. Because, like, you sit there and you just get picked off. You're like, well, there's no, like, I couldn't have done anything different.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about COD, though, is over the years, it's been the same thing. The people who start playing it first, they get to learn where all the camp spots are, and then they just sit there until whenever, whether it's Warzone or Black Ops or Deathmatch. It's always been the same. There's always going to be people that just go up and hard scope.
Yeah, I find that's the one thing that was tough for me to adjust to in Apex too, was looking at the map and realizing that really there isn't anywhere to hide. Like there's no real true advantage to just sitting and waiting. It's like even though I'm a slow player, I'm always on the move.
They could actually nerf that out of bounds time by a little bit. I know sometimes you get stuck there or you have a bad drop or something, but you get yesterday we almost got pushed in by a team that would go up the balloon, jump onto an out of bounds spot that you could actually stand and shoot, wait the 30 seconds, do damage, come back down, jump on the balloon, and land and do another. So they were just like circumventing the play style, the flow of the game, because 30 seconds is a hell of a lot of time. Yeah. Okay, yes, they could nerf it to 15 and they'd probably do the same thing. But I mean, by the time they get up there, they go out of bounds and they land, that kills out 5 seconds of the time. They have 10 seconds to turn around, choose their gun, point at you, another 5 seconds gone, and then take the shots. Maybe they'll get 2 shots off.
The risk reward isn't as advantageous.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Like, yeah, I've seen a few Preds use plays like that where they'll like jump pad up into these obscure areas off like out of bounds and just sit there and just do the dumbest stuff. But it's interesting like that they give the players the opportunity to do something like that. Like the map is open enough to do something like that. But I don't know. I'm so intrigued by how they've structured the gameplay. Like how much fun and how there's no real way to play. Like somebody made a point the other day, like COD, it's rush to get your first 2 objectives done, cash out, get a loadout drop, play with guns that you're comfortable with, and away you go. What happens after that? Like you just hunt down your favorite gun. In dropping in Apex, you have nothing. You're naked. You're completely naked. Like You got to build guns, and you got to do the best that you can with what you got.
Yeah, that's probably what the best part of it is. I mean, at this point, how long the game's been out, I can pick up most guns and be okay. I can deal with this until I find the guns I like.
Right.
There's definitely some guns I stay away from, like the L-Star.
What a
Hate
useless
it.
sack of shit that is.
I got pushed with it last night and I died. Hated it.
I
It's
hate
a
the
big
charge
bubble.
rifle too.
Yeah, charge rifle. I try not to pick up, but I see it in other people's hands. Like even like Taylor Takedown, she picks the damn thing up and she hits with it. It's just nuts. It can be nuts.
It's
I want
frustrating
to
as
like.
hell.
It is. It is. One of my last games, I got dropped by it. Popped my bubble. I was playing Gibby. I want to actually like switch gears a little bit and actually go into the updates. So I'm just gonna start with what do you think about the actual event with the heat shields and the escalating rings?
The escalating rings, I've been kind of plus minus on. I first saw them and I'm like, this is dumb. I still kind of think they're dumb, but it does put you in some uncomfortable situations. And it does force you into areas during certain times of the game that you wouldn't necessarily go into because you've got to avoid the storm. Or you've got to avoid the heat, whatever the heat ring. I don't hate them now. The first couple games I dropped in them, I was like, "What? Why is this? What is this? Why is this happening? Like, what is even the point?" I ran straight through a couple, and I'm like, "Ah, whatever," and then died. That's neither here nor there. But
it definitely pushes the fight away from the middle of the circle because it basically cuts off half the circle. It starts in the middle and it branches out, so you're covered. But it is, yeah. It's a pain in the ass for me because it's like I'm typically a late runner. Like I die a lot in PUBG to the zone, the same way I play in Apex. I die a lot to the zone, and it bugs me. It bugs me that I can't run late now because I got to run through 2 zones.
yeah, that's why I've been playing a little more Octane lately because I always get caught looting. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, it's interesting. The heat shields, though, I hope they patch the glitch not the glitch, but the exploit that competitive players are using right now with the whole like repetitive heat shields and quick, like they're taking fights on the outside of on the outer edge of the circle, rushing back into circle because there's a huge buff to heals and shields.
Yes.
So they'll take a fight, they'll take their damage, they'll jump in, drop a heat shield, jump out of the circle, push the fight again, and like they'll just jump back and forth for the quick heals.
Yes, so that's actually the next thing that I have pulled up. So when you're inside the dome and you're using a healing item, it's sped up by 50% and revives by 25. So in my head, I'm wondering, does this stack? If you have a Gibby shield where you can, I think they actually they nerfed it so that when you're popping heals or something, that you don't actually have a faster speed in there, but you still pick up within a second. I'm wondering if you revive in a heat shield and a bubble, if it's gonna stack.
Interesting. I don't know. I used a Phoenix kit for the first time with a gold shield today with in a bubble, and I'm like, oh my word! Like it was so quick, so efficient. I got so excited, and then of course I got the heal. I got to res somebody as Mirage, so nobody saw us. I had a couple guys or one character just run through the heat shield looking for us and then just bounce. I was like, haha, got him. It's a cool piece. It's an interesting addition. I think they do have to tweak it a little bit. And here's the one thing I will say is the way the way Apex handles its community feedback, at least in my limited experience, is actually really good compared to a lot of the other games out there.
I'd say so too.
They're pretty on top of it. They're pretty quick to make adjustments, listen to the community. They don't pander exclusively to like the competitive community. They seem to take their feedback really well, and the community for the most part, outside of your toxic handfuls, seems to be pretty cool and pretty laid back.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to get the people, and I can understand it to a point, the purists who think like pre-season 1, so launch season 1, 2, 3 were probably the better seasons, the way they played. But that's probably for the most part just because they were playing really well with players that they've now nerfed. Like
Yeah.
we go into Pathfinder. I lied when I said the other day that Pathfinder is back to how he was previously. They actually took away his hitbox, making him easier to hit. So he had like a thin hitbox in previous updates. They've taken away his hitbox, and he is now bigger, easier to hit. So not only is he
Wow.
easier to hit, he's also got a nerf damage. So he takes like 10% more damage or whatever it was,
Wow.
and he's easy to hit.
Yeah, that hurts.
It does. It hurts because I was a Chappie main. I loved him, and I can't play him now. And I know there's a lot of people thinking, okay, just get good, don't get hit by bullets. But it's not. It's not like that.
But that's why you don't see, like, at least I haven't seen the high level players playing Chappie. Like I don't see it. Like I don't. And even isn't Bloodhound kind of in the same vein where they kind of mess with Bloodhound so much that although the ability is super powerful, you don't see Bloodhound as much as you did before?
I don't know. I think Bloodhound is one of the only characters they haven't really messed up with because I mean, okay, yes, they changed his ult a little bit so that you don't get to scan as often,
Right.
but when you're in the ult, you can scan, and the more you kill while hunting, the longer your ult is.
Yeah, right.
So it. I still feel like he is. They are one of the best characters in the game just because they haven't been touched that much.
Right.
Like his nerfs weren't so bad. So I will see. I'd be interested to see what kind of nerfs and buffs they give people. I still think that Bangalore is way overdue a buff. Way overdue for a buff. Especially because her freaking heirloom is stupid.
It's kind of meh. I mean, Mirage could always use a buff. Like, what a fantastic character Mirage is.
Yeah. Okay.
Bamboozles. Whatever, man. You know it's true.
No.
Oh.
No. Mirage is not. I get it. He's way better than what he was. But he's also one of like the only characters where his ult activates like instantly.
Yeah.
He waves his hand in front of you himself like for a second, and he's invisible, and then he's not. Even Wraith got a nerf on that where she has to like focus phase. She can't just go into it and get away. So he's a little bit OP in the fact that he can get away from situations a little bit quicker than other people can.
Isn't it great?
For the style of player he is, at least. I mean, Octane is fast, so it would make sense that they can get away fast. Pathfinder is fast; it makes sense that they can get away fast.
Right.
But Mirage isn't. I wouldn't say he's not a mobility player. I wouldn't think he's mobility. He's
although the speed of the ult might be a little broken. I think the abilities themselves are pretty balanced. Like he doesn't. It's an evasive ult, right? Like you just pop it off to get yourself out of trouble.
Yeah.
You don't.
No, he's fun to play, and I do enjoy it when I play. I just think he's probably due for a nerf in the next little while.
No, they just made him good.
Something will get nerfed, but that's the thing. They play with things until they break it, and then they have to fix it again.
I will say though, as much as you dislike it, with the right team around her, Horizon's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I played her the other night, and I enjoyed playing her. It was fun to like get up into places, and I just don't like being against her.
Yes, of
That's
course.
the problem. Being like it's just crazy. They slowed down her shit. Actually, they made things harder for her. I'm trying to find Horizons. They've increased the black hole cooldown from 2 minutes to 3 minutes.
Okay.
And the default finisher actually takes longer to do.
It's actually a cool finisher.
Yeah. So, which makes it. Oh, I guess it was one of the faster finishers. So now it's in line with the other ones. So it's
got it.
If you're finishing, you don't have a benefit to finishing with Horizon.
Right.
But it's not. I mean, they're always going to tweak things, and that's actually a second and a half difference. So that's noticeable when it comes to like pushing a fight or pushing someone that might be downing your friend. But what do you think of Caustic's new place?
I died to the acid.
You jumped in the pool?
Yeah, I did. like an idiot. I was just taking a fight, and then I jumped in. I'm like, why am I dying? Why am I? I killed the guy, and then I'm boom. I was like, oh no.
Every
was
time
like,
I go
"Oh."
there, it's a shit show because it's brand new. Everybody wants to be there. It's just like it's crazy. It actually the only thing it reminds me of is kind of like Bloodhound's place on World's Edge, where you kind of if you go there, you know that there's going to be people there battling the Prowlers,
Right.
and it's going to be a shit show. That's what it reminds me of.
So somebody just mentioned in our live chat, Octane and Horizon together is hilarious.
Oof.
I've seen a couple people go off with Octane Horizon, and it is actually pretty funny. Like
Yeah.
you can get across some places pretty quick when you pop them both off, man. It's hilarious.
We'll
I
have
still
to try it.
I still haven't figured out how to use her ult effectively with certain combinations of players. Like
Yeah.
it seems like with like a fuse or I guess like a caustic ult to keep everybody in tight and in together, it would work really well. But I mean, because I play a lot of solo pubs, it's hard. It's hard to play and use her ult effectively. Because a lot of players, like, you're kind of waiting to use the ult reactively as opposed to proactively to kind of draw everybody in and take the fight.
Yeah.
Whereas you're trying to like time the other player's ults and try to like figure out what you're gonna do. It's interesting. It's been interesting. I do want to know though, what are your favorite guns? You don't have to list like an ordered list, but like let's say your top 3 favorite guns to use in the game, or the ones that either are your favorites. Like, does your favorites list also compare to your most comfortable with list? Where does it all sit?
301 longbow Kraber. Top 3 by all means. I'll
So
take those any day.
Kraber's
And
not as easy to get your hands on. What would
no.
replace the Kraber if as your more common guns? Because like for me, the Prowler is in that same kind of category, but I don't get my hands on it often at all.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. So definitely, I guess I'd just interchange it with like an R301. It really depends on how I'm rocking. I picked up the Spitfire recently, and Taylor's just saying in the chat for those listening that the Spitfire RE45 are actually under recognized. Or at least our RE45 is slept on big time, slept on
Yes,
by a
I
lot of people.
agree.
Spitfire has been buffed, which was unnecessary, but it's being utilized a lot in this season or since the update. But yeah, 301, 99, and longbow for sure. It would be my interchangeable. And if I had to choose like a favorite heavy, Spitfire or flatline.
I
That's what I would go
suck
to.
so bad with anything sniper rifle outside of the G7.
Yeah.
Like the G7 scope, I've been good with. I'm comfortable with, and that's probably why I like it so much. I know it doesn't really get a lot of love. It's not like the greatest gun in the game by any means, but it's just one of those. It's one of those guns that I'm most comfortable with.
Yeah, I never understood the 30 or not the 3030, the G7 because it's a light ammo.
Yep.
And it slaps like heavy just because it's like single fire. So I'm not sure how they rate the damage on it, but it slaps more than it should, I feel.
I put up a clip on my TikTok earlier this morning where I downed a few guys with a G7 from distance. And I don't get it either, but it's one of those things, like, especially when you get the extended clip in there and you got like 18, 19 bullets, and you just pop off steady stream, and there's very little bullet drop. Double tap G7 is so great. For me, I love running G7 301 for some reason. I don't know what it is. I suck the bag with the wingman, so I barely ever use it. And I'm loving the use of the Volt and the Hemlock right now.
Yeah. I tried to do an all energy ammo game the other night, and nah. Volt Devo didn't go very well.
No, I would imagine you ran out of energy. Like that.
No, actually, I didn't get a chance to even shoot anything. I died real fast.
Oh man, the
Yeah.
shotguns take it. I've grown a bit of fondness to the EVA 8, the automatic shotgun.
So when do you think we're gonna see an energy shotgun? I know there's an argument to be had that the Peacekeeper is, but when it was actually a ground drop, it would take shotgun ammo. So we'll say that it doesn't.
Oh.
Now that it's in
Eh,
a crate, it's just whatever ammo that is.
right.
So how long before they give us an energy shotgun?
Oh wow. Could
Or
they
would
though? Like,
you
would it break? Like, how would it impact the gameplay? Like, in my opinion, something like that would break the game because
I
you
would
would figure.
probably it'd probably I don't know be something like an amped thing where it does more damage to the shields, so it's breaking shields before you switch guns. That's what I would think.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that thing would crack
Yeah.
like an
So
energy
it does,
shot.
but it'd be like energy bullets that does damage to shields, but it does suppressed damage to an actual body. So in your
Flesh,
flesh, you're not actually doing damage at all.
dude. Could you imagine? Yeah, like, could you imagine that plus like Mastiff for up close and
Yeah.
personal? Like, you could like off the hot, like off the drop, like a combination like that would be gross.
You know what? I never thought the Mastiff could get worse, and I know they technically nerfed it, but that's bullshit. They didn't nerf nothing. They just they took the damage down very minimally, and they made it slightly slower to shoot, not shit, shoot. And it's literally killing me in 3 shots. I can't even
Yeah.
I can't even change guns to a fully loaded gun to get murdered by a goddamn Mastiff.
Yeah, the Mastiff hits hard like the dog. It, dude, it's a powerful, powerful weapon. But again, like speed weapons sometimes affect it. Like I love the P2020 off the drop. As soon as I find something better, it's gone. Off the
Yeah.
drop though, I have a great like the P because there's the attachments are just plentiful off the hot, like everywhere. They're all over the damn map.
Yeah.
Turbochargers? Like I find them freaking everywhere.
I I don't see
Or
them
hop
all that
ups?
often.
Is it hop ups? I think it's the hop
Yeah.
ups.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your thoughts on the 3030 then?
the 3030 I hate. I can't hit a shot to save my life. It hits like a truck. I
It
will admit
does
it hits like a
if
truck.
you let it charge up.
Yeah, I don't fare well with it. It's too slow. It's a little too clunky for me, personally.
Yeah.
But I'm also not that experienced, so I've gravitated towards loadouts that I'm comfortable to. So if I have the option to pick up an early 3030, I will. But the second
Yeah.
I get something like a G7, that 3030 is gone. Especially if I have attachments for it.
I think the 3030 is a mini Sentinel without having to use a shield cell.
Oh,
Because
okay.
if you hit that first shot that's charged, and you can crack armor, and you can shoot the gun in a relative speed, which happens to me a lot. I don't hit my
Right.
shot. I get hit by shots. It's effective, and again in somebody else's hands, but it definitely has like that Sentinel feel to me, because the Sentinel is also
Yeah.
equally hard to hit your shots with.
Right. I will say
That's
though, with the 3030, there's something about the audio when you hit a shot and you crack a shield.
yeah.
I don't think there's a more rewarding ping in Apex.
Not wrong. Wrong. Kraber.
Okay, the
Kraber.
Kraber, yeah, but
Kraber,
again,
Kraber
I'm
crack
talking about.
is. Oh,
I've
best.
probably played in the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, like 150 games of Apex. I'm yet to find a fucking Kraber. Never mind actually use one outside of the training grounds. So for me, like the Kraber doesn't even enter into the conversation because I'm never gonna use it. I used the Prowler, the SMG, the other day for the first time in a training ground. Like,
Mhm. That's because you didn't play like before. I don't think I would actually want the. I don't think I would ever want the Kraber to be like a ground drop. Never, unless it
no,
was
I
like an
think it's
event
too.
or something.
Yeah,
I don't think the Prowler should come back out of the drop either. I
I
think that's
agree.
perfect where it is. If anything, they should probably just nerf the magazine size, because what do? They give you like 250 for that thing.
Dude, it's
Maybe a bit much for
ridiculous.
a red gun. I'm
But it
glad the
pops off
99
the
is back
tongue.
out. The 99 deserves to be a regular gun, and I think they gotta. I really want them to put the goddamn Mastiff back in. I want them to put the Mastiff back in the package. Put the PKs on the ground and make it work. But I know they want the Mastiff. So what do they have? They have the Eva 8 is supposed to be the worst of the shotguns.
which it's
The
not side to the.
Peacekeeper is supposed to be the best of them, and the Mastiff is supposed to be right in the middle. That's how they've designed those guns. But EV8, it's easier to hit your shots, especially with a double tap. You can shoot faster. And I don't think they did anything to the gun this season, but it feels like it shoots faster.
It's I didn't know it's automatic. Like you could just hold the EVA 8 and I'm like, pop, 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 pop.
No,
Yeah?
no, it's double
What?
tap. Doesn't it have It doesn't have like a built-in
No.
double tap or something, where you click it and it will shoot twice, and then you have to click again. It'll shoot twice.
No.
Unless
Okay.
they changed it, I'm pretty sure
It's
it's not.
auto, dude. I was like yesterday years old when I discovered it. It's auto, man.
I didn't know that either. It makes sense though, because they're fucking killing me with the damn thing if they're
I
just
hate
holding
the
on to it.
Mozambique can go fuck itself. I'll tell you right now.
Mozambique is bad. It is good. It's good since the four bullets and a hammer point.
It's a poopsicle
That's
coming
great.
straight out of my freezer. It is a poopsicle sandwich. It's
That
brutal.
is how you know you're an inexperienced Apex player, because
Listen,
it
I'll
used
pick
to
it
be
up. I'll
booty.
use it. It might be like I enjoy using it in the locked and loaded event. It was fun, dropping down and just popping off. It was great. I had a good time. But it burns my butthole. Like I just don't like it.
Yeah.
If I see it, I want to spit on it every time I walk by. It's like, and I'll come back around. Like I'll finish clearing a building of all my pickups and stuff, and I'll come back around. I'll go back to it. And I'll spit on it again, and then I'll keep running.
While we're on the topic of we were talking about
Spitting.
3030, apparently there was a thing with the 3030 repeater where you were actually able to, like, there was no bullet spread on it. Like if you were hip firing or jumping, it was the same, like,
Really?
100% accuracy. So they had to patch that recently. It was apparently apparently a thing where you could actually jump, and where you aim is where you shoot. So now they've added a little bit of spread.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, the 3030, I don't have the same passion for the 3030 that I do have for the Mozambique, but I don't.
Yeah.
So I don't really. I don't know. I can't really relate. I did see something. What do you think about this? Somebody in chat mentioned customs in Apex. What's your thoughts?
Eh.
Custom.
Eh.
Thank you for your insight.
I mean, it's fine. Do it. Sure. It encourages tournaments and stuff like that, and playing with bigger communities if you're a streamer, for sure. But I mean, it's not a make or break for me. If they didn't add it, I wouldn't be upset. If they added it, I'm not going to be like excited about it. But I can see for larger content creators, or even people who want to play like drinking games with their friends at home, absolutely, it's a great idea. But I'm excited one way or the other? No, not at all.
See, I agree with you, but here's the thing I wonder. We all know, like, and I compare it to Warzone because it's the biggest BR, and like just in fandom, not the best, just biggest.
Map wise,
even community wise, like admitted that, like, because of the way it's structured and it revolves around Call of Duty, and Call of Duty's been around for so damn long. Is the community, like, would having customs negatively impact pubs or ranked, where it might be harder to find games? You might find fewer people outside of custom lobbies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, would it have a negative impact on a smaller game like Apex? And Apex isn't small by any means, but when you're comparing it to a WoW that's introduced customs and hasn't really, in my opinion, seen that decline or that change, would a smaller game like that be impacted at all?
I guess, I don't know. I'd be more worried what it does to the gameplay for the people who aren't, because where's that server stress going?
Right.
If you have a lobby, if I'm hosting a lobby and I have 24 teams of 3,
Right.
and I don't know. I wouldn't want something like that to impact the gameplay of my experience, just because you want to have your friends play with you. If you could do if it's like on a dedicated server or something, like, sure, do it. But I don't know, these games like Warzone and Apex, they're talking in the chat a little bit here for those listening, that there's issues with lobbies. There's always issues with lobbies when it comes to massive online games. Like, this is people are from around the world. They're trying to play on their dedicated server. Some people are actually trying to, like, jump over across the pond to play with people that are friends. So there's lag and ingest problems and all this kind of stuff. And it's, I don't know. I think there's a lot of homework to be done if you're going to add custom games into it. I just
If
not
if
sure.
if custom games was on the table for the beginning of this season at any point, like if it was a
Yeah.
conversation within their dev and they had to choose between crossplay and custom lobbies, in my opinion, I think they made the right choice of going crossplay first. I know myself personally, part of the reason why I enjoy Apex so much this season is that I can finally play with everybody I know that plays Apex, especially since I moved over to the PS5. Like, I can't imagine trying to find games with just PS5 players because I don't know anybody. I think there's one person on my friends list that I know that plays Apex.
Do they
But
have a
now,
functioning game chat at this point through the season,
I
or
have
is it
no
still
idea.
broken cross-platform? Because that's my only thing. Is as much as I enjoy playing with you, which is like I'm not going to be honest. And I'm sorry. I'm going to be honest and say
Wow.
it's not my favorite thing to do is play with
Yeah.
you because I don't want to jump into Discord. I just don't have the setup for it. It's I have two headsets. Putting a earplug in and over the headset, it cuts off one of my ears. I can't hear you talk or I can't hear the gameplay. And if I'm taking the game seriously on a given day, that's just something for me that
Okay.
yes, again, I could get good. It's just not something that's not how I play that game. Um, I know there's workarounds, but there's some workarounds that are a couple $100 that's not happening.
But hold on, time out. So then, how, like, when we're playing, how is it that I can run one headset? We're gonna have to look at our configurations because I run one headset when we play on Xbox and we do Discord. So if you were to do the same, I don't know why it doesn't work for you unless you don't have OBS open or something.
I don't understand what you're saying.
So
Are you
here's
saying
the
that
thing: like
you
when we play,
are
when
you
you and I play together, you're on Xbox, I'm on PS5.
yeah.
When I'm running with you on Apex, if we're using Discord chat, I'm only using one headset.
Are you getting so you're pulling your game audio from your actual broadcasting software?
Yes.
I'm getting my audio from my controller.
Ah, okay. So it's your fault then. Fuck this
Well,
guy.
because
We
here's the
now
thing.
know what
Here's the
happened.
thing though is if I run the audio from my OBS into my headset, I also have Elgato picking up my gameplay noise, which is picking up on the broadcast as well as desktop noise. So if I'm playing everything through my OBS, there's three places for the audio to come out. You're going to hear all three of those audios play on my stream from my desktop through my Xbox and through my desktop.
That makes no sense because that's my setup. I have all my audio is audio. My OBS, my stuff is just audio output capture. That's it. It's everything. It's Discord. It's game. It's sounds. I mean, you could probably hear a fart if I let one rip loud enough. Like, it's all in the same vein. We're gonna have to talk about this. We're gonna have to fix this. This is ridiculous.
I'm not playing with I'm not playing with earbuds in. I refuse.
What do you then plug your big ass headset? Get one of these things. I have like this little extension cord that allows me to plug in like whatever headset I want, and you can just plug in your fat heads, your fat your earmuffs because it's cold up here in Canada, and you can play with those.
So you have your. I don't know if I could do it. I think that would be no. I refuse. I'm not. I refuse. I'm not plugging in. I'm not listening to my game off my PC, and I'm not like.
Chat. I'm gonna clip that last minute because that was the moment that he realized he fucked up, and I was right for a change. Just
No, no, no,
once.
no. No, I don't think. I'm just saying. I'm telling you. I think I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get like 3 echoes or something.
No, you just mute everything else. That's what I do. I have all my other audio outputs in OBS muted, so I only hear it all through one output. This guy, see what I mean, chat? Like, this is, listeners, do you see what I have to deal with for 2 weeks leading up to every episode? Do you see this shit?
Wow.
Anyway, listen.
It's my fault we had to do 2 takes today.
Wow, just because I didn't want to hear your shit and I muted you. Oh, no. But listen, I don't know about you. Would you have any other final thoughts? Like where do you want to see Apex go from here? I think it's in a good spot. I think it could be in a better spot. There's always going to be little stuff to tweak and change and do. But I think overall the game is in a good spot. what's something that you would want to, like, we talked about the whole, like, crossplay has been a huge addition. We've talked about the whole some of the weaponry and some of the balancing and some of the characters, but and some of the new additions to the game mode. But what are some of the things that you look at right now and you're like, I would love it if the game went here?
Um, you know what? I never thought there was anything wrong with it. I never thought there was anything wrong with it when it first came out, and every season I didn't think it was broken until someone told me it was broken. So I'm like, it's kind of one of those things. Like they keep making it ever so slightly better every time they update, and yeah, they go backwards sometimes, but it's more along the lines that I didn't know I needed that until
Right.
they gave it to me. So I would be just happy if they can continue putting like balanced play styles, like as in the characters they release are fun
Right.
and enjoyable and fast paced and fit the vibe of the game. That's just keep doing what they're doing. Listen to, I mean, you said it earlier. They listen to the community, and I'm sure um, they don't take everything, but they definitely listen. So I just
Right.
keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing it because it's maybe slowing down because the game's getting older, but it's
Right.
working. People are happy, and the people who are playing it, they're enjoying it. And it's only the people that are dying, like me this week, that hate the fucking game, which
How you
can't
feel?
find. I'm trying to get a challenge, man. I'm trying to get a challenge. I need to win 2 more games with 2 different characters. I'm only good with 4 characters.
Then that seems to be a you problem.
And I've already gotten the wins with those characters. I've even got character wins with people I don't normally play that I didn't even know I won with. So I can't go and play them because, like, okay, I can play with this person, maybe get a dub. It's like, oh, I've already got it. So I got to play somebody else. Fuck. I need 2 more.
You can do it. Okay, so here's
I'm
the
good.
question on the
It'll happen.
whole point of 4 characters. If you could design a character, is there an ability that you would love to see in the game out of a character? Is there something that you would look at and be like, "Oh man, that would be cool if a character could do this." Doesn't have to be an alt or not like a single move, but
Um, I'd have to think about it, and I don't think I have time to think about it, considering. um, if I had to be like gun to my head, this is what needs to be done. Um, I'd say probably someone that has uh, kind of like a pushback effect, if you will. So like they either hit you. I think that what they were going to do. Who is the character that Revenant killed on? I can't remember his name, but he was supposed to have like a knockback effect
okay.
where uh, he would punch and you'd actually get knocked back. I'd like to see that kind of thing, or maybe a alt that is like a concussion type thing, or it drops in the middle and an airwave pushes people back. So if you're within 10 feet of this alt,
Oh,
you're
okay.
automatically getting pushed back to, like, you
Like an
clear the
additional
zone
10
kind
or
of thing.
whatever. Interesting.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. I think it would add a different dynamic to the game to see someone with a pushback effect.
Would that have friendly fire or no friendly fire?
Um,
Would it
Maybe
impact?
minimal.
Okay,
Maybe it would only impact your team half
because it'd
because
be
you
interesting.
still want them close to the fight. But I'm thinking like right away. I'm thinking how broken it is if you have your ult and you have a team next to an edge in Kings Canyon, and you're just gonna
Yeah,
knock them back 10 feet into the under the ground. I mean, pity them for being there,
yeah,
but obviously, like things like Gibby's shield would negate it because it's
yep.
supposed to not do that. But I like I would I think like a knockback thing. It doesn't do damage; it just suppresses people's movement.
It'd be cool against like a Horizon alt because it would drop in. You could actually get your team out of Horizon's alt, and you
Yeah.
could actually like throw their characters even further. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I
Fi-
mean, even if you like use it with fuse or something, fuse throws his ult behind the team. You use your concussion to throw them back in the circle. Now they're trapped. I don't know. I feel like it'd be kind of a cool dynamic.
I would love to see something that would like almost like a impede players' movement. So like a ground effect, like an icy ground or an oily ground or slippery ground, something that would impede the team's ability to get away, or at least an area of effect that would impact the team's ability to move. So what, like an icy ground, you could hit it within like a certain, drop it within a certain radius. It kind of messes with the ground, makes it slick, and
Yeah.
it slows or affects their movement ability. I think that would be awesome.
Like a Frozone.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, if you know the Incredibles, then you know Frozone. But yeah,
Yeah.
something like that would be really cool. So you have like an ability, like an Octane style ability, where instead of being able to run, maybe somebody mentioned in chat like a Icy Legs, where you could kind of like slide through an area instead of run super fast, but then that drop affects a certain area. It doesn't have to affect the whole team or be like a huge radius, but there's a section of ground that's
Yeah.
impacted.
Yeah. Yeah. Or something that it forces you into the slide animation where you can't use your gun or something.
Yeah. But I
That'd be
mean,
cool.
yeah. Oh, that would be. Oh my god, you could break.
That would be
I mean,
really broken.
this is the challenge, like on a very small scale of what it must be like trying to dev characters that aren't gonna break everything else. Like, for those
Yeah.
of you playing that have ever played Magic the Gathering, for me that's the best and worst example of trying to push the game forward, but end up breaking so many things along the way because the history gets so
Yeah.
big. And so as this game continues to evolve, with every character that comes out, you're gonna find ways, and you're gonna have people that find ways to break the new character with an existing character.
Yeah.
That's just the nature of
So
the beast.
you asked the question, if there's anything that I would want them to do, what would it be? This is the only thing I would say. Have characters' ults be able to negate another character's ult.
So kind of like
So
a
like
League of Legends style thing, where it's like this guy will be
yeah,
like
so
this.
like for talking sake, if we use my example of what my character would look like versus a caustic, that concussion should disperse his gas.
Right.
Um,
Cool.
or if you have like your ice person versus Fuse's ult, if you lay the ice down where the fire is, it'll put it out. But if you put the fire on top of the ice melts. That kind of thing.
Or
So
if you put
I
the
think
ice on top of like a
I think
Revenant ult,
yeah, like I
it'll.
think it just like it would definitely change the tactics of the game if you could actually
Yeah.
circumvent the other team's characters. Um, but the rev silencer is that like, but you don't have a character that's all light and pretty and stuff that can throw like a ray of light and you get your abilities back.
Yeah.
But I think that would be something that I'd kind of like to see is more, I guess, elemental type stuff. If
Yeah.
like how could you, like Watson can negate the bombardments, but what else can be negated? Nothing else. It's like
Yeah.
Watson can negate any throwable in the bombardments. Other than that, there's nothing really else going on. So it'd be nice to see more of that.
If there was one thing that I would love to see is like you got Horizon with her little dome there, her little pop up little wind sphere there.
Yeah,
I would like to see something like a little more elemental, like maybe a character that gives you the ability to put up a totem underneath themselves, where it gives them like a building's height, so they can actually get up into like a perch. Instead of like popping them into the air, they get like some sort of perch for like X number of seconds.
it just sounds like a porta fort in Fortnite.
Yeah, but no, it wouldn't be like a surrounded cover, just like an elevation.
Yeah.
It would give them like a 2-story elevation, X number of seconds, then it disappears. You can kind of go up, maybe take a couple shots, and then you get dropped back down and back to life as normal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, you're kind of taking elements away from Spellbreak, where
Yeah.
like I think of like Avatar actually when you say stuff like that, like the ability to shape the ground as you're running for a certain amount of seconds, kind of thing. Like having water, earth, fire, and air benders in this style of game isn't so far fetched because Apex is a very far fetched game. So that'd be kind of cool.
I love
kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy type element gun.
We have like Gru running around bitch slapping people with tree branches.
yeah.
Or like like using that branch as a get over here out of Scorpion. But anyway, we could again. This kind of lends itself to the whole idea of what it means to develop something for such an epic game.
Yeah,
like you have it, and this also shows how easy it is to break other characters if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So I mean, all the power to them. I think the team at Apex that's developed and continues to work on Apex has done a great job of keeping it relatively balanced. And if it's not and gets broken, it seems that they're very, very efficient in correcting any issues that come up along the way.
Yeah. I'm just going to address that what was said in chat here. someone in chat for those listening is saying that Mortal Kombat style add it to Apex. That would actually be really, really cool for 1v1 situations in Last Circle where you can both, if like you would never know, you go up to like a machine and you press it, like say a Marvin, and you say, I want to fight. And if they happen to find that Marvin and they press they want to fight, then it's going to cut you into that Mortal Kombat type sequence. That would be maybe a cool event. I don't think I'd want that in the game forever.
It brings like this other zone or like a Titanfall 3 map, and you're just in this little tight room. You face off 1v1.
Yeah.
If you die, your death box stays there, never to be retrieved. And
exactly.
I think
that'd be interesting.
What? Maybe we got something. Maybe we should be developing our own. Like this
yeah,
will be our own BR.
What's it going to be called? Parental Gamers Legends?
Parental Gamers Battle Royale. Parental Battle Royale. We'll just get like parents from. You can create your own parent.
Yeah.
You can pick like. There you go. You pick your parent.
There's only one body model, and it's all dad bods.
You have your parent. You have all the abilities. You get a primary and a secondary. You get to choose whichever one you want. And same thing. You and your squad of neighborhood watchers.
Yeah.
Go out into the street, take it on. We'll do it like very suburban, and if you want to fight a certain like that Karen next door, you can call them out.
Everybody's alt is throwing their terrible 2-year-old at them.
Or if you're like you want to play as the Italian character, you could take a slipper and whip it across the room. But no, honestly, look, this was a discussion about one particular game that Andy's super passionate about. I've fallen back in love with more than I thought I ever would. I had an absolute blast chatting about it tonight. I hope you all had a blast listening to it. Andy, I hope you had a blast chatting about it, because this is your neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. It was fun.
Oh, Jesus. No, it's good.
People that are listening or watching or whatever, you guys can tell when it's something that we genuinely give a shit about the things that we talk about, because it's so much easier for us to just get lost in a discussion. We've been doing this. It's just about an hour and a half that we've been doing this, and it feels like we just started. So this is something that we care about, because it's something that's easy for us to talk about. So those discussions are always easy when they're natural and flowing. So yes, absolutely, I had a great time.
So did I. Chad, if you guys have something that you want to hit us up about, or want us to talk about or cover in the podcast, please feel free. Hit us up on our socials. Andy, where can they find us?
For me personally, or for Parental Gamers?
Both. Start with the Parental Gamers.
Okay,
son of a bitch, and then move into your stuff.
Wow. So for Parental Gamers, so you can catch us at Twitter for @GamersParental. You can catch us on YouTube. Just search Parental Gamers on YouTube and you'll find us. And we're basically on every podcasting service available. So iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it, we're there. We don't have an Instagram. We just have the Twitters, because let's be honest, who wants to see us on Instagram? And myself, I am Andy TTV on all platforms. YouTube, it's just I am Andy. Other than that, that's me. What about you, DB? What you got?
Wait, you forgot about that new merch. The merch.
Oh, yeah, I have a merch store at imandy.ca. So if you're looking to cop some shit with my name on it, that's where to go.
I'm Dad Bods United. I don't know. Like, dude's like, I made this store. It's an amazing store. I made this store, and doesn't even tell a soul.
Yeah, I'm also very, very modest. I'm a modest mouse.
Please, if streaming's taught me anything, it's modesty is for the weak. No, I'm kidding. I'm the most.
I'm weak then. Color me weak.
I'm Dad Bods United. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Dad Bods United, or on Instagram at DadBodsUNTD. Because who the hell would have United? Like, really? You can also find my merch at www.dadbodsunited.com, and my wife's merch that just dropped last week, Mom Bods United. So we do a little, his and hers thing. It's kind of cute. It's fun. It's adorable. We love it. But yeah, you can find me everywhere, here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, keep an eye out for future things happening with merch within the Parental Gamers realm.
Yes.
We're going to get together in the next little while if we can actually get some time to spend and see what a design might look like for us.
Absolutely.
And,
absolutely.
And see what happens. So on my end of things, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Dad Pods is going to take us home.
Yo, thank you all for listening. We will catch you back here in 2 weeks. What we will be talking about, I don't know. You're going to have to stay tuned to our socials to find out. See what I did there? I appreciate you all being here tonight. Everybody who hung out with us in chat live on this Friday night on Twitch. And hopefully those of you listening at home and watching on YouTube will enjoy yourselves as well. Thank you all for being here tonight. And take care.